Traveling and meeting different people is so important. In context of this school, there are not many contexts like this where there are people from all different parts of the world, different experiences, different age groups, different professions, all coming together to study photography. In the global and the local workshop, that is very much inspired by the project I did with my mother. Around about the year 2000, my mother was very sick. Being quite old, I had this strange feeling, which was unfounded, but at the time I thought she was going to die. Out of desperation, I decided that I wanted to make a piece of work that is very respectful of this woman, my mother. She has a lot of personal memories, and I wanted to explore that theme. My relationship with my mother is that quite often she would recite memories and tell me about her life. I discovered that when we go to the sites of those memories, you realize that many footprints had been embedded onto that earth. And so there is this very strange duality between one footprint of the subject that you're interested in and the multiple footprints. The earth that we live in can be discussed in terms of an individual or the collective. In the workshop, there is an emphasis in looking at the art history and to draw inspiration from that. I talk a lot about the 17th century painter Vermeer. In the painting, The Woman with a Lute, there is a lot of suggestions about the issues between the local and the global. The painting is very Eurocentric because there is this dynamic between the lady holding a lute and the connection or disconnection between the lute and the map. The map only reveals Western Europe, yet the lute, where that comes from, is not represented on the map. And when you read that painting in today's context, you realize that it's perhaps a very controversial painting. Perhaps it was not controversial at the time it was made, but it certainly is controversial today. I've been making photographs for a long, long time, and then about maybe 7-8 years ago, I don't know how, but I ventured into video. And from that point, then I thought more about sound, and after that, I thought more about performance. And so for a long time, I guess I distanced myself away from photography. But I guess also that distance sometimes helps the photography. Hopefully by having this distance, when I come back into stills photography, perhaps I'll be thinking about it in a different way. I guess what I try to do is to find the best medium possible to describe the thing that I would like to express. My idea of photography in the art market is that there will be a day where there will be no more photo-specific galleries in the world, that there will no longer be the need to place photography separately in a separate compartment. In the art world, there is a way of working, and it's very clearly defined. You explore art from a young age. By the time you are at the age of going to university, then hopefully they will direct you into the right art school. The industry is kind of set up for that, because when you do your postgraduate or undergraduate level, at the end of that journey, the industry will come and they will have a look to see what is the future. But I just lived a completely different life. In my youth, I was a very troubled teenager, so I had very little education. So I didn't understand about these structures. And maybe that is why I feel able to use all those different options, all those different mediums to say the things I want to suggest. There are so many artists that inspire me. Also, students inspire me. In relation to this workshop, Chris Killip was somebody that I looked at. He describes the local and global situation of a very specific part of England that was becoming deindustrialized. Deindustrialization has everything to do with the global context, but how does the global context affect a very localized community? I guess with portfolio reviews, you've got all those important curators that you would like to meet. As curators are, by nature, difficult to make appointments with. And if they open a door to everybody, then they could not do their jobs. But at the same time, there is this alternative method, and one way that photographers and artists could empower themselves is by creating their own network, their own community.